for beginners. Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of the channel, and today we will be doing the fundamentals of Scratch. Let's get started. Now, what in the world is this Scratch? Now, this program, Scratch 3, is the newest version of Scratch. Here is what it is. It is a programming language where you can basically where you can use blocks instead of writing the code at all to make things and to make code. You can use these two buttons as your go and stop buttons, as the symbols literally show, and you can also create the characters, or as we call them, sprites, on the screen, move around with these two blocks. You can change all the blocks numbers, and you can also make them go wherever they want. And for the fundamentals of Scratch today, let's talk about this area right over here. Now, this cat is a character for the screen. He is our sprite. Now let me put him back to 00, the origin. And here are the fundamentals. You can choose a sprite from the Scratch already made Scratch library, and as you can see that they have several costumes, and I'll explain what those are. There are many costumes or sprites in the Scratch library, and it is really awesome. You can search it up. Okay, maybe that was a bit of a random search. You can just use these filtered buttons, and that's how you can do it. You can delete sprites. Oh, it's sad. The cat is gone. Let's bring him back. And you can also draw your own. You can do everything you want with it. You can change the color. You can change the color you want to draw it with. You can delete it. By erasing it. That I mean by that. And you can change it into a bitmap, which basically means pixelizing it. And as you can see that if you go zoom in closer, that it's a pixel. But if you convert it to a vector, it's a way smoother. It's going to be a way smoother version. Wait a second, please. Turn it up. You can also change the size of everything, like the eraser or the pencil itself, or you can just do everything you want with it. Okay, let me just delete these. And those are the fundamentals of Scratch. And here are costumes, where basically there are different sprites that you can also use to create your animations. There is a stage where you can also draw one. You can also draw a stage or choose one from the already made ones, just like how the sprites were made. Now you know the fundamentals of Scratch. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. And now let me show you what the coordinates of this Scratch plane are. Now this is the full screen button. This is the minimize button, but I like this one better, so we use this button. This is the full screen button. Now the limits from the x-axis is from -24 to 244 at the x-axis, and for the y-axis is -180 to the 180 coordinate. So the limit for the xy corners are -240, 180, -240, -180, 240 comma 180 and 240 comma minus 180. Now let's see what will happen if we move the cat to the outer edge. Now here's a block that we haven't learned yet, but I'll just use for now. We'll eventually learn it, how to use it. 250 to 188. And see where it goes? It won't go any further because this panel won't let it to go any further. And that's one of the fundamental rules of Scratch. You cannot go out the boundaries of the screen. As long as you can see something and drag it from there, you are allowed to there. Let's go back to the blank one. Also, backdrops, you can choose any backdrop you want. This will also come in handy with your animations. Another thing about this panel is about your size. You can change its size, and even if it doesn't say so, it is out of 100% size. So your limit is basically, let me see. Your limit is 540%, while your direction is in this direction. Now, usually we know that direction is from 0 degrees to straight to the 60 degrees, a full circle. But here we don't have it. Once we get to 180 degrees, we get a minus. So it's actually 0 to 180, from 180 to minuses. You'll eventually get the hang of it. But right now, that's all I'm going to get. Let's turn it back to 100%. And these are the show or don't show buttons. If you don't show, the code will still run. But it won't be showing you that the cat is doing it. Well, if you show it, it will show it. Duh! This is the place where you can name it. You can name him Tom. You can name him Jerry. You can name him Cat. You can name him Catarang. And so on. But I'll stick with Cat. And that's it for today's lesson. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one, which we'll be talking about these blocks, mainly the motion block. See ya! Dun 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 dun.